Hey everybody, I'm Adam and I just saw Logan and man, am I depressed. I am just so sad right now. Oh God. No, seriously. Here's a picture of me coming home from the movie on the subway. That is me with 1,000-yard stare saying, man, I have seen some stuff. Specifically, all of the just heart-wrenching, horrible sadness that is Logan. Oh God, that's painful to look at. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a great movie if you like sad, depressing films. Like, the writing's really good. The CG is fantastic. The story, if you like sad stories, is great. The acting is tremendous. Like, if I would not be feeling this way if the acting wasn't as good as it is. But here's the thing. I know that Hugh Jackman, this was the movie he always wanted to make for Wolverine. Well, I hope he's happy because he made a film so good that I never want to see it again. Now, Logan was described as a darker, grittier comic book movie, and by that measure, they truly succeeded. In fact, the brightest spot of this movie was the Deadpool 2 teaser trailer scene thingamajiggy that they put up before the movie, because it was funny. It was dark, but it's also funny and light and silly, and there were some jokes, and it was good. I enjoyed seeing Ryan Reynolds' butt, but after that, the whole movie was just downhill the whole time. This is the darkest, grittiest, most real comic book movie that has ever been made. Now I know everyone's like, oh, the Nolan Batmans were pretty gritty and real and dark and Batman vs Superman last year, everyone didn't really like it. They thought it was, too trying to askew to too real and very dark and grim and too brooding and murderverse and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yes, you all are correct. I still kind of like that movie, but you are right, it had many flaws. But Logan is just 50 shades darker than anything in the DC cinematic universe. Because at least in those movies, there were some bright spots. Like Bruce and Clark both loved their moms, who happen to have the same name. Martha! And Lois, who served some purpose, I'm sure. And Wonder Woman, she was awesome. She was cool. She had that cool cello theme song. That was a bright spot. Logan, there is no brightness here. It is an absence of light, and it is just dark. Okay, so here comes some spoilers. They're nothing super crazy, but I mean, who cares, right? Because at some point, we're all gonna die, and everyone we love is gonna die, and life is meaningless, right? Because this movie has sucked all the hope and joy out of me, and I really feel like I need to sit down. This is a movie that has no hope in it whatsoever. Like, yes, at the end, Laura runs off with her cloned mutant friends to Canada to presumably start Alpha Flight. But other than that, This movie is basically death, rage, depression, PTSD, child abuse, mental diseases, so many mental diseases, then finding like a nice family that loves each other, but they're quickly dealt with by a giant heaping of death. Then literally and figuratively fighting the worst aspects of yourself, and then watching your father figure die, thinking about suicide, a little bit of revenge, a little bit more death, and then finally finding that one little spark of hope and fatherly love, which is quickly snuffed out by, you guessed it, death. This movie is basically a classic Western film, but one of the depressing ones where the day is saved, but everybody dies at the end. Like, there are no survivors, because everybody's dead. The reviews said that this movie would transcend comic book movies, and sure, it kind of does, but the thing is, this movie really isn't a comic book movie. Now, it's a movie featuring some of our favorite comic book characters, just as old withered husks that are slowly decaying and eventually die right in front of us. Entertaining! Just a few quick thoughts here. Why is it that the older version of all of Patrick Stewart's most famous characters all have some type of mental disease? Because in Star Trek, the All Good Things, the final TNG episode, future Picard, they said has some kind of future-sounding brain issue that made him crazy, so no one would believe him that the Q was messing with the timeline. And now in Logan, I believe it was mentioned he had ALS and Alzheimer's and dementia all wrapped into one, which was, I mean, that's a pattern now. That's a, what are we doing? Also, why isn't this kid Goldballs? Because in the final act, they had a bunch of unnamed mutants running around the woods, and the writers had a perfect opportunity to give us Goldballs, everyone's favorite new mutant. But alas, they did not, because I'm assuming they were like, hey, if we show them Goldballs, they'll have hope and joy, and this is not a movie for that, because we stab hope and joy in the face in this film. So no fun for the audience. This kid just has electrical powers. Whoopity-doo. I mean, seriously, how hard would it have been to animate gold balls flying around the woods knocking into people? Like, I personally dislike depressing films because it really affects me. Hell, remember this picture from a couple minutes ago? Look at that. There's so many words for that. Also, I think I'm giving Conan a run for his money with this coif thing. That is up there. That is really, I need to comb that. I need a haircut. Woo! So just for fun, here is my alternative ending to Logan. All right, now, spoiler warning, this is gonna be slightly happier than what happened in the movie. Okay, so most of the movie plays out exactly the same. Okay, Logan wakes up, this is the third act, Logan wakes up, all the kids are gone, they're heading to Canada, and he's like, oh crap, the bad guys are after him. So, like 10 minutes earlier, he mentions to Laura that his healing factor isn't working, he thinks it's the adamantium in his system or whatever. But we've seen his healing factor affected before, like in the previous Wolverine movie. He got injected with something and his healing factor didn't work for like the whole film. Well, I'm assuming something like that happened before, like during the whole purge of the mutants when everyone was being killed and hunted down. So Logan just didn't fix himself because he was ashamed of his failure for saving everybody. So he's punishing himself by not getting it fixed and just suffering through having his healing factor be depleted. Well, now he realizes he's got a new reason to live. He's got to save Laura and save those kids. So he, if it's a thing in him, he rips it out of him and then just throws it away and crushes it, whatever it is, be it a bullet, be it a machine, whatever, it's a MacGuffin, whatever it is. Then he takes that green medicine that the Richter left for him, he shoots it up, and he goes all berserker rage, just like he did in the movie, and just runs through, kills everybody. The rest of the movie plays out exactly the same. He kills everybody, it's really cool, stab, 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 slash. Laura's killing everybody, the kids are fighting back, doing what they can. Logan fights his clone, which would have been codenamed Dakin. I think that's how you say it. You know, Logan's son from the comic books. Oh, Goldballs would have been in there. That kid would have been Goldballs, not some just stupid, lame electricity power. Freaking golden balls be flying all over the place, and the kids are like, this is crazy. And by the way, the woods would be a perfect place for gold balls because balls could be bouncing off of trees, and it would have been awesome. People who didn't know the comic books would have been confused. But those of us who like the comic books are like, this is amazing! Anyways, all this stuff still happens. Logan gets like mortally injured. Laura shoots the clone with the Chekhov's gun bullet. They've seen the whole movie. Everything plays out the same. They have that really touching moment like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna die. It was too late, my healing factor's not coming back. Oh crap. Well, you know what? This is a good way to die. Laura's crying. She's speaking Spanish and English. She's still crying. She's not acting. I don't know if you noticed that. She had snot. That was really good. She was just drippy, drippy. Oh, it's all of the emotions, all the same emotions. It's touching. He's got the same dialogue. Everything is the same in that moment. But just then, she's crying. There's a beat. His eyes, kind of drift off or whatever. And then we just see slowly, it's tiny, but you just see the wound start to heal itself just a little bit. He coughs. He's like, I'm alive. Oh God, crazy. He pulled the giant tree part out of him, and he's really hurt. He's still super, super hurt. So he still lives. His healing factor comes back. It's not anywhere near where it was before. It's still very much depleted because he's super old now, but it's still around. It still can heal him and can still save him. So he'll still never be what he was in the past, but he's, kind of the same as he was the whole movie, but now he just has a little bit of healing factor. So he limps off with Laura and the kids. They go to Canada and they set up a new school. We don't even need to see the school being set up. We just know that he is going to set up a new school, probably named in Charles's honor, and help teach these kids how to be mutants and protect themselves and start a new generation of mutants, right? Just a little bit of happiness. No, pile of rocks and a wooden axe as your last shot and being like, hey, everything you love dies. No, just a little bit of hope. Logan doesn't go out adventuring anymore. No, he's a teacher now. He hangs out with the kids. He's doing it for the kids. He comes full circle. Came full circle for the whole franchise. He went from angry, it didn't have a memory, didn't have a family, and just all this stuff. He works through all of those emotions and finally comes back around to being a father, being a teacher, and carrying on the memory of his friends and his loved ones for the new generation. Right? Just a tiny little sliver of hope. So people don't walk out of the theater looking like this. Man, I was really sad yesterday. But more like, yeah, that was gritty and real, but you know what? There's always hope for the future. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, as my girlfriend said, this is the best movie I wish I never saw, which is true because this movie's gonna be in my brain for a while, and I wish that it wasn't because it's so sad. But what did you guys think? Is there still hope in the world? Please let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate that. If you like this video / therapy session, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that as well. Also, here's some fun stuff you can watch on YouTube right now. And after seeing this movie, I'm definitely gonna be watching a few of these things because I need to laugh and smile desperately. I am still kind of sad inside. But there are a few really fun movies coming out soon. I'm looking forward to reviewing them. So until then, I'll see you guys later.